I still remember the exact sound the envelope made when it hit the kitchen table. A soft slap, like someone closing a book they never meant to finish. My hands were wet from washing dishes, the soap suds sliding down my wrists, and I looked at that plain white envelope with my name typed on it. No stamp, no return address, and something in my chest tightened like a knot I couldn't untie. It was a notice from the bank. A mortgage statement. For a house I'd never seen. In a neighborhood I'd never driven through. $860,000. My name as the primary borrower. My social security number. My signature, except it wasn't my signature at all. It was close, too close, the way my sister Laura always tried to copy my handwriting when we were kids so she could sign my name on permission slips. I stood there in the quiet kitchen, the faucet dripping slow and steady behind me, each drop hitting the stainless steel like a tiny accusation. The smell of lemon dish soap mixed with the faint burnt edge of the toast I'd made earlier and forgotten. My husband was at work, the kids long grown and gone. It was just me, the envelope, and the sudden cold that had nothing to do with the air conditioning. Laura and I had always been close in the way sisters are when one of them needs saving. She was the wild one, the dreamer, the one who fell in love too fast and lost jobs like other people lose keys. I was the steady one, the one who finished nursing school while working nights, who bought the small house we grew up in after Mom and Dad passed, who paid the property taxes so it wouldn't slip away. Laura lived with me for years after her second divorce, sleeping in the guest room, eating my groceries, promising she'd get back on her feet. I never asked for rent. Family doesn't do that, right? But she moved out 2 years ago. Said she met someone serious this time. A real estate agent. Someone who understood investment opportunities. She hugged me tight that day, smelling like her vanilla perfume and new hope, and whispered, "You've done enough for me, sis. Time I stand on my own." I believed her. I wanted to believe her. That night after the envelope arrived, I sat on the couch with the paper in my lap, the living room lamp casting long shadows across the carpet. The clock on the wall ticked louder than usual, each second stretching. I called her. No answer. Texted. Nothing. My thumb hovered over our parents' old landline number, still in Mom's shaky handwriting in my phone contacts. Even though they'd been gone 7 years. I almost dialed it anyway, just to hear a voice that wasn't mind-breaking. The next morning I drove to the address on the statement. A big colonial house. White siding, black shutters. A for-sale sign still stabbed into the front lawn like it hadn't quite decided to stay. The windows were dark. No cars in the driveway. I sat in my old Honda, engine idling, staring at the place like it might explain itself. A neighbor walked by with a golden retriever. She glanced at me, curious. I rolled down the window. "Excuse me," I said, voice steadier than I felt. "Do you know who lives here?" She shrugged. "Some young couple bought it last month. Paid cash, I think. Nice folks." "Why?" I forced a smile. "Just curious." "Thank you." Cash. But the loan was in my name. I drove home with the windows down, the spring air rushing in, carrying the scent of cut grass and distant barbecue. My hands shook on the wheel. Not anger yet, just a deep, quiet confusion. The kind that makes your throat ache like you're holding back tears you don't understand. That evening Laura finally called. "Hey sis," she said. "Too bright, too quick. Sorry I missed you. Been crazy busy." I didn't waste time. "There's a mortgage statement with my name on it. $860,000. For a house I didn't buy." Silence. Long enough that I heard her swallow. "Laura, it's complicated," she said finally. "Can we talk in person? Tomorrow? At the old house?" I agreed. What else could I do? I met her at the old house the next afternoon. The one Mom and Dad left us, the one I'd kept up all these years. The porch light was still on from the night before. I'd forgotten to turn it off, and it buzzed faintly, like a trapped insect. Lara's car was already there. A shiny new SUV I'd never seen before. She was sitting on the top step, elbows on her knees, staring at the cracked concrete like it held answers. When she saw me pull up, she stood slowly. No hug this time, just a small, tight smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Hey," she said. I didn't sit. I stayed standing on the walkway, arms folded, the mortgage statement folded in my hand like a letter I wished I'd never opened. "Explain it to me, Laura. All of it." She looked down at her shoes, expensive ones, leather the color of caramel. "I didn't mean for it to go this far. That's not an explanation." She took a breath, the kind people take when they're about to jump into cold water. "Mark, the guy I've been seeing, he flips houses. Big ones. We found this property in a great school district. Perfect investment. But his credit, it's not great. Mine's worse. We needed someone solid. Someone banks trust. My mouth went dry. So you used me. Not used. Borrowed. Temporarily. She looked up then, eyes pleading. You've got perfect credit, sis. You never miss a payment. The loan went through fast. We were gonna sell it quick, 3, maybe 4 months, pay it off, give you a cut. You'd never even know. I laughed once, short and sharp. It sounded foreign in my own throat. You forged my signature. I practiced it. A lot. I didn't want to hurt you. The porch light flickered once, throwing her face into shadow, then light again. I could smell the honeysuckle that still grew wild along the fence. The same smell from summers when we were kids, and she convinced me to sneak out after dark. Back then her schemes were small, stealing cookies, lying about homework. Harmless. How much did you make? I asked quietly. She hesitated. We closed last month. After fees and everything, about 120. 820,000. And you were just going to, what? Send me a thank you card. I was going to tell you. After we paid it down some. I swear. I turned away for a second. Looked at the rose bush Mom planted the year Dad got sick. It was blooming too early. Petals already dropping onto the mulch. My chest felt tight, like someone had wrapped a belt around my ribs and pulled. Did Mom and Dad know? I asked even though I already knew the answer. Lara's voice cracked. They asked me to stop asking you for money. After the last time. They said you'd carried enough. I closed my eyes. The memory came fast. Mom in her hospital bed, thin as paper, whispering to me. Don't let her lean on you forever, sweetheart. She has to learn. I nodded. I promised. But promises are easy when someone's dying in front of you. I looked back at her. They asked me to help you, not to carry you. Tears spilled down her cheeks now, fast and quiet. I know. I messed up. I always mess up. I didn't move to comfort her. Not this time. What happens now? She whispered. I unfolded the statement, looked at the numbers again. The payment due date was circled in red ink. Someone else's hand. Probably Mark's. You're going to fix this, I said. You're going to refinance it in your name, or sell it, or whatever it takes, and you're going to pay every cent back. With interest. Because this isn't a loan between sisters anymore. This is fraud. Her shoulders started to shake. I can't. The money's already gone. Down payment on the next flip, Mark's debts. Then you'll figure it out, I said. My voice was calm. Too calm. Because if you don't, I'll have to. I turned and walked back to my car. She called my name twice, soft, broken. I didn't look back. That night I sat at the kitchen table again. Same spot, same dripping faucet. I opened my laptop and searched for real estate fraud attorneys. My fingers moved slow, deliberate. Each click felt like setting something heavy down after carrying it too long. The weeks that followed felt like walking through fog, thick, slow, everything muted except the ache in my chest. I didn't scream. I didn't cry in front of anyone. I just moved forward, one deliberate step at a time. I hired an attorney named Ms. Reynolds. Older woman, silver hair pulled back tight, voice like warm gravel. She listened without interrupting while I told her everything, then slid a tissue box across the desk without looking at me. We've got options, she said. Strong ones. Identity theft, forgery, mortgage fraud. The bank will want this resolved quietly once they see the evidence. Your sister. She'll have to answer for it. I nodded. The office smelled of old coffee and lemon polish. Outside the window, traffic moved in silent rivers. I felt strangely calm, the way you do after a long fever breaks. Lara didn't fight it the way I expected. When Ms. Reynolds sent the demand letter, Lara called me the same evening. Her voice was small, almost childlike. I'm sorry, she said. No excuses this time. Just those 2 words, repeated like a prayer. Mark left. Took most of what was left. I'm staying with a friend in the city. I don't know how to fix this. You start by telling the truth, I told her. To the bank. To the title company. To whoever needs to hear it. And then you start paying it back. Whatever you can. Every month. No shortcuts. She cried then. Quiet, hiccuping sobs that made me close my eyes against the memory of her crying the same way when she was 6 and broke Mom's favorite vase. I didn't soften. Not this time. Word spread slowly in our small circle. Cousin heard from a realtor friend. Mom and Dad's old neighbors started asking questions. I didn't hide it. When people asked why I looked tired, I told them the short version. My sister took out a loan in my name. We're handling it. No drama. No venom. Just facts. Lara lost friends over it. The ones who'd loaned her money before, the ones who'd covered her rent. They faded away. She started working 2 jobs, waitressing mornings, office cleaning nights. She sent me the first check 2 months later. $312. A tiny dent in $860,000. But it was hers. Not borrowed. Not promised. Just sent. I kept the house payments current while the legal side moved. The bank eventually transferred the loan after the fraud was documented. They didn't forgive the debt. Lara still carries most of it. But my name came off. My credit stayed clean. My life stayed mine. One Sunday I drove past the colonial house again. New owners had painted the shutters navy blue. Kids' bikes lay on the lawn. I didn't stop. I just kept driving, windows down, radio low. The air smelled like summer coming. Fresh-cut grass. Distant chlorine from someone's pool. I thought about Mom and Dad then. How they'd always said family is the hardest thing you'll ever love. How they'd asked me, in their last quiet months, to protect myself too. I hadn't listened then. I'm listening now. Lara and I don't talk often. Holidays mostly. Short calls. Careful words. There's no hug when we see each other. No pretending everything's fine. But there's also no hate. Just distance. The kind you need sometimes to breathe. I still live in our childhood home. I still plant roses in spring. I still answer the phone when it rings late at night, just in case. But I no longer carry what isn't mine. Broken trust doesn't always heal clean. Sometimes it scars. Sometimes the scar reminds you what you're worth protecting. If someone you love asked you to carry their weight forever, would you? Or would you finally set it down? Thank you for listening to another broken trust story. If this one touched something in you, leave a comment below. Tell me what you would have done. And if these stories help you feel less alone, consider subscribing. There are always more truths waiting to be told.